Today we're going to go over the Presto SQL on Hadoop engine, what it actually is, and then we're actually going to present a demonstration of Presto as well as Tableau, and Tableau running on top of the Presto engine. So what is Presto? Well, Presto is actually a 100% open source distributed SQL query engine. It was originally developed by Facebook because they wanted the capability to actually execute interactive queries against data that lived within their Hadoop environment. Not only did they want that capability to be able to execute data and query data that existed in Hadoop, but also other platforms such as MySQL, PostgreSQL, etc. So they made Presto extremely extensible. Also, they wanted portability in the Presto engine. So Presto is actually able to run on any distribution of Hadoop. It's very much distribution agnostic. It's licensed under the Apache license. It's not part of the Apache project, but it is under the open source Apache license. As you can see here, numerous market-leading technology companies have adopted Presto as their interactive query engine for SQL on Hadoop. Of course, Facebook, and then Netflix, Airbnb, Dropbox, Groupon, Twitter, and LinkedIn are some of those market-leading companies who are leveraging Presto within their environment today. So here's just a brief history of Presto. In fall of 2008, Facebook actually developed Hive. And after a while and leveraging Hive within their environment, they actually realized they needed something that was much faster and could actually do the work of interactively querying data that existed in Hadoop. I mean, Hive was great for large batch jobs, but it just didn't have the performance that they needed for that interactive query capability. So in spring of 2013, Presto rolled out with, Facebook rolled out Presto within their environment, and then they actually open sourced it. In spring of 2015, us at Teradata actually jumped on the bandwagon and stated that we're going to support Presto. And now we actually have over 20 dedicated engineers who are contributing code to the open source Presto engine. So here's just some examples of Presto in production, where Presto is actually being leveraged in real-world environments at huge scale. So for example, at Facebook, they have multiple production clusters with hundreds of nodes into the hundreds of petabytes of data. They also have the engine querying against MySQL as well. As I talked about earlier, how it's able not only to query against Hadoop data, but also other data such as MySQL and other database engines. And Netflix is another example where they actually have a 200 node system and over 25 petabytes of data in the S3 format, Parquet format. So Presto is really proven at scale at numerous market-leading companies. So here's the Presto architecture. And you can see it actually looks very similar to a traditional MPP database solution set. Though it's not a database, it's actually a query engine, so it doesn't maintain the tables. The tables live within Hadoop or another platform, but its architecture is very, very similar to a traditional MPP engine. So you have a coordinator node that actually parses and analyzes the query and then sends out the execution plan to the worker nodes. And the worker nodes are the ones that actually bring the data in and actually work on, do the aggregations, etc. on that data. The results sent to the coordinator and then sent out to the client. As I mentioned earlier, Presto has extreme extensibility, which is unique for SQL on Hadoop engines. So not only does it have the ability to actually query that data that exists within a Hadoop environment, querying data that exists within Hive tables. It's able to read the Hive metastore and execute queries against that data. It also has the ability to query NoSQL databases, standard relational databases like MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQL Server, and then other platforms such as Kafka, Redis, H3, etc. So it's extremely extensible in its ability to actually query numerous platforms. So let's actually jump into a quick demonstration of the actual Presto engine. So what I actually have here is I actually have Tableau running on top of Presto with the new ODBC driver that Teradata actually contributed to the Presto project. It's an enterprise class ODBC driver that allows standard BI tools to query against Presto. So what we actually have here is we have a demonstration of numerous countries from Brazil to Nigeria, etc. And then prices of product sets, food products over a period of time in all of these countries. So this demonstration is we're actually just looking at the fluctuation in this graph of a specific product set. Let's say it's flour in Brazil over this time period of February 7th to April 27th. So what I'm actually going to do now is I'm actually just going to change the product so you can see the execution in real time of this query against Presto and the data that exists within Hadoop, and in how it actually works. So what we've done here is we've actually now just changed this to beans and white dried beans. So if we look down here, we can actually see that the query has been executed in real time against that data existing in Hadoop, and now the actual product is white beans. So from white beans, we can actually go back and say, well, let's look at another one. Let's look at carrots. So what we're actually doing is in real time, we've actually executed this query against the data that exists within Hadoop. It's not cached. And if we go back, we can actually look and see we've just executed the query, and in real time, we've actually, in 575 milliseconds, we've actually executed that query against the data that exists within Hadoop. So if you look at the query speed and performance of Presto, you can see how leveraging the Teradata's ODBC driver for Presto, we can actually execute these queries in real time against data that exists within Hadoop. So we could actually say, well, let's look at another country. Let's go to Bangladesh. So in real time, we're now looked at Bangladesh as a country, and we're going to look at minced beef in real time against in Bangladesh. So if we go back, we can actually now see in real time beef minced executed against that country of Bangladesh. So this is just a brief demonstration of the interactive query capabilities and performance of Presto, as well as how a standard BI tool such as Tableau can be leveraged on top of Presto using the free ODBC driver that Teradata has made available for Presto, and how your organization can leverage Presto within their environment.